Guys, Cherokee The Chief here, musician, entrepreneur, and spirit guide. This is a Who's Hot exclusive for 24/7 live culture.
Look, they was slick. Word to Portia, shoulda sold some sheets. But now they wanna chief it with the chief. I'm custom down boutique, you now rocking with the elite. And when you want that elevator PH for that top suite, shine down by the picture while I'm in that mad silver. Awesome dog, some money flipper. Out here queening, but I'm really that nigga. Saw the bigger picture when they wasn't messing with her. Let it go, couldn't stay bitter, then became a public figure. So then, he asked me how I'm doing like he didn't notice. I've been consistent with my training, so I know it's poking. While on the sideline for a second chance, I know they hoping. I'm juvenile with the flex and slow motion. Wasn't in a good place and you threw that in my face. The bracket I reside in that you never saw the day. The stilettos with the denim and the vintage bustier. I mean the way you did the kid, you lucky if you get away. I'm saying.
House on the hill, big bills, moon shadows every meal, and I still can't deal. Rather be on section A, mama pancakes on my plate, we gon' get it either way. Broke was just a phase. Had to grip the grain the way I whipped that thing, you should've saw his face.
Yes, welcome, Cherokee the Chief. We're so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking time out to chop it up with 24/7 Live Culture. I'm your girl, Angelique Henderson. How you doing today?
I am doing so well, and I'm truly happy to be conversing with you again. It's an honor to be a part of, what you guys are doing. I like the movement, so I'm happy to be here.
We're so glad to have you. So go ahead, tell us, how did you first begin singing?
Okay, so I pretty much started arts like straight out the womb. My mom is a poet, so she would always buy me like notebooks, and I write like poems and different ideas, and those eventually turned into full compositions. So although I started off child acting from like 3 and up, music was kind of like already in my DNA and in my immediate environment. So I was very young when I started writing expressions, and I think I was early teens when I'm like, I'm going to take this all the way professionally.
Wow, early teens, that is pretty early. So why as
It,
a teenager yeah,
I,
did you
you
make that
know,
decision?
um, I wrote this rap and it was so inappropriate. So I hid it. And my mom would like search all my things because I was very secretive at one point in life. And she found this rap and she was upset, but she's like, this is good. Like inappropriate, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, these are some bars. And I just remember my uncle's like, it looks like she's about to do it. And I didn't really get in trouble. So I'm like, I think I can do this. And I think that was like the turning moment where I'm like, oh, like, I must really go hard if I was able to like get out of punishment with this. So I think it was like around that time that I'm just like, oh, I think I'm really going to be a lyricist. And that was kind of like the pivotal moment in my early teens that made me feel like I could really do this.
Well, that is pretty powerful if your artistry can get you out of trouble.
You know, talking about things I wasn't even doing, but those rhymes were hitting, and I felt support. So yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna take this all the way.
And take it all the way you did. I mean, you have an incredible sound. So tell us about how you developed that sound over time.
Thank you so much. You know what? I think the way that I developed my sound was just constantly creating. Like I said, just writing from a very young age. And I was never afraid to try different things on different beats. I am from the Valley, so I grew up to like Britney Spears and Pink and like pop. So I'd get on country, I'd get on rock, I'd get on hip hop records. And I didn't even really start freestyling and flowing over hip hop records until like later, I would say. I think like other genres were kind of like the first peak that like piqued my interest. So I've always been lyricism, but it was over just different types of beats. So that helped me develop my sound, not being afraid to try different things. And then I had an artist development course with track masters, and I think that was the moment in my life that I was intentional with my development, since that's what I was there for, and they taught me so much. So I think at that point of my life, I may have been I think it was like 19 turning 20 when I started working with them, that I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this all the way. And they helped me with cultivating a sound and, having a brand vision. And that's when I was very intentional with, finding my sound. But I would say just trying different things and constantly creating, constantly writing is how I develop my sound.
That's amazing. You definitely put in those hours to master this incredible artistry that we get to see and experience and enjoy now. And it has truly paid off. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we're all continuously growing and have so much more to do. I'm very proud of what I've put out, but I know that I'm excited to grow and that I'm, happy to start sharing my journey so others can grow with me. I'm such a perfectionist. I think I have like perfection paralysis. I think that's a thing where you're so afraid of putting yourself out there because you want it to be perfect that it leads to stagnation. So I'm really happy that I've overcome that and I'm, just open to the journey and growing in my sound. So I really appreciate the positive feedback.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've definitely overcome a lot and it definitely shows. So who are some of your biggest musical influences?
Okay. Oh my gosh. So I would say Rick James. I feel like I'm the female version of Rick James, honestly. Like that is, and he's an Aquarius just like I am. I feel like that's the plateau that you reach when you no longer care what anyone thinks about you. So that is like, that's the goal. Rick James, Betty Davis, Queen Latifah, Andre 3000, Britney Spears, Pink, Missy Elliott, Ice Cube. Cube, if you ever see this, I love you. And, best. But anyone that was authentic and original, Ludacris, like just people that really stood out as their own character, Busta Rhymes, just really authentic figures in music, even outside of hip hop. That's who, inspired me.
That's great. Would you say that any of them particularly influence your sound? So if someone said, who do you sound like? I know that's a question people hate to answer as an artist sometimes, but if you do
Right.
get it, what would you say?
I would say, like, especially if it comes to female lyricists, Eve, that
Mhm.
was Eve was, I forgot to throw Eve in there. That was the first female lyricist that I gravitated to when I was younger. So I've gotten that, kind of comparison, I guess I would say. I've gotten some others that I don't agree with. I think that some people just feel comfortable comparing and putting, especially when it comes to women. But if it comes to like female lyricists, I would say Eve for sure.
Mm, that's a good one. Got a man that Eve definitely has some bop, so that is a high
You know,
compliment.
she was herself, which I always loved, and that was enough. There was no gimmicks. It was just her. It was clean. It was bars. She didn't really have to cuss like that, which is something that I do. I, was able to kind of grow and realize that a lot of the times, like cuss words are just fillers. So I feel like when I was intentional with not cussing, that was able to like really flex my pen and like push me, to not have to like lean on that stuff. So I would definitely say like Eve was really big and, how I cultivated just being raw and knowing that that was enough.
Mm, absolutely. And I think you hit on it as well as far as authenticity. Eve had that authentic thing going, you have that authentic thing going, and fans can tell. And we can see it in the presentation, we can hear it in the music, and it makes a difference to really see an artist be themselves.
Thank you. It does. And I'm wanting to bring back like the novelty of being a musician. When we had like Ludacris, like he was like a character. It was like you're watching like a show. It was like more than music. And that was so inspiring to me. So that's what I'm wanting to bring back. Just like the fun in creativity and exercising that and seeing what it can become.
Absolutely. Gotta have fun with it. So
We
otherwise, why do it?
I know I said this on our last interview at the beauty pageant, but we really do live one time. And I'm just like, I'm ready to do it big, do it all, have fun, network with people, try different things, really get in the scene. I'm such a like a work hermit. So I'm happy to have like my publicist. She's like, go do this, go do that. Cause I'm just, I'm pretty much in the studio and that's it. So I'm excited to now be back to getting outside and having fun. That's the whole point of life. No matter what you do, like you should be having fun with it. That's actually the only way to succeed, if you're having fun. Because if you're being a little too serious, which I've been, it's like you got your panties in a bunch. It's not fun. It's not the way to do it.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, definitely want to keep that fun on lock. Is there anything else that new fans should know about you or your background or your music?
Well, I was born in North Hollywood, so I am the Valley Ambassador. That is the name of one of my clothing lines. I hold the SFV near and dear to my heart. So I just plan on bringing like a different take to hip hop and beyond. Hip hop's not the only genre that I do. I am in a side group with my bandmate Scott Plow's birthday twin. So we do like house music. So I just want people to kind of just like buckle up and go on the journey with me, know that I'm bringing something different. And, I'm not afraid to try different things. And I'm also, wanting to build my tribe and cultivate a community. If someone's like, Cherokee, you be hot on this, like DM me, send it to me, let's do it. So I'm just that person. So I definitely want to be someone that is approachable and just let people know that I'm sharing the craft, but it's bigger than me. So yeah, there's a lot to come. I plan on having fun, creating fun, and just inspiring and being inspired.
Inspiring and being inspired. We love that. We could all use some inspiration day to day. And it's so special to have you as one of those sources of inspiration for us. And like you said, for other young people out of the Valley who also want to make their mark on the world, make their mark out here in Los Angeles and entertainment. And just like you said, be their authentic selves and allow people to gravitate toward that and really feel that. So that's
Yeah.
great. All right, so go ahead. Let's talk about these singles. You have some incredible singles out. Gives us a really good taste of who you are and what your sound is like. So let's start with the most recent one, Pink Mustang. Take us through.
Okay. I love Pink Mustang. I wrote that a few years ago. Like it was definitely during COVID. I was like out on a date, and I think he rented a Mustang off of Turo. So there's this old school song playing, and this is me. Anytime somebody plays a record, I will rap over it. A lot of times I don't even get to hear the artist because I'm already inspired as soon as the beat drops, and everyone's like, listen to the song. I'm like, I can't, I'm creating. But he was like playing like these oldies, and I just started writing, this hook, and I'm like, diamonds in my, it just came, and I put it in my phone. I'm like, I have to record that. And I took it to my bandmate, Scott Clowes, and Scott's amazing. So all the instrumentation on Pink Mustang is in real time, real strings, real keys. I had Sonia Kimmons, which is a jazz legend, singing behind me on the chorus, as well as a friend of mine and a creative colleague, Simone Pirtle. So there's so many different elements and people that came together to bring that track together. But I felt sexy that day. I was feeling myself. My outfit was on point. I was looking good enough to eat. That's where the song came from. So I'm like, I need to make a bop so my girls can like cruise around in their drop top convertibles or sunroof, whatever you have, and just know you are a snack, a human edible. And that's what that track is about. Just feeling amazing and, being the vibe.
It really is. It definitely gives me like a feeling myself vibe to it. I know when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, okay, I like this. Feeling like my best self. So
that's really what it's about. Like I love my women. Men are important too. I'm gonna say that because I don't want them to feel no type of way. But the one is so powerful. It's just amazing. So a lot of times when I'm writing, I'm like, what would make a woman feel good? I love to make women feel good. So that's definitely what I was doing with that record, just like having fun, playing with sensuality, like rapping a little even slower than I normally do, just going with the vibes, not really doing too much, but just really being free without overthinking.
Absolutely. And why the color pink in particular?
I know, because that Mustang was definitely not pink. I think because I want a pink Mustang. Anytime I see a pink convertible, I'm like, oh my God, like they're living the life. Even though that's not my favorite color anymore, I'm just like, I would love to have that, to just jump in whenever I wanted to just have one of those days. So I'm just like, I think pink Mustang is just the vibe, because if someone did gift me with a convertible, I would probably just go get it matte pink. So that was just like a no-brainer for me. I'm like, I want a pink drop top.
Okay. Here we go. Era of Barbie, right?
Yeah. And before Barbies, I mean, I was a My Scene girl, and I had a convertible for my My Scene doll. It was actually like matte chrome, like a mirror, and it had like light blue interior. And she was doing her thing, and I'm like, I can't wait until I'm living the best life too. Arms in the air, like you just don't care, driving with both arms up.
There you go, just letting it loose. I love that. So we appreciate that. Everyone definitely check out Pink Mustang. It is a vibe. Moon
Thank you.
Shadows. You even have a video to Moon Shadows. Tell us all about Moon Shadows and then the process of making the video.
Okay. Yeah, Moon Shadows, that was the first record that I released from my forthcoming album, Jazzmatikk. Um, Moon Shadows was a very vulnerable record for me. It's really about overcoming adversity. Um, People can doubt you, and a lot of times now, especially in LA, you're judged based on your tax bracket of what you have. People are very judgmental, because we're in a place where just people are just faking the funk and just trying to be something that they're not, to just be in this, type of vibe. And I was, at a point in my life where I was like younger, and, some of the people that I were dating, they were affluent, and they were psychologically very rude. I don't even know if it was intentional, but it's just because you weren't where you needed to be, but they were, and there was like this like power thing going on. So once I like was able to break away and really kind of start seeing the dynamics of the way that people treat each other based on what they have, even when it comes to romantic, I'm like, I'm going to work on myself and build myself, and know that I don't have to seek validation from anyone. So that was basically just overcoming someone not believing in you and being what you are meant to be, and knowing that no matter your circumstance, you can win. So I wanted to be an ambassador of hope, and just know people kind of look at me, and I think from my disposition assume that I've never been through anything, and I've been through a lot. I've just never allowed that to alter my personality or the way that I dealt with people, or my views on life. So Moon Shadows was really about being patient and knowing that everything that you want, you can achieve it. And yeah, so the music video, I wanted it to be very reminiscent of like a professional athlete that won a championship, and they're on like a celebration float in a parade. So that was basically like my take on that. I'm like, I won the championship. I won. I win. I win now. I'm still climbing the ladder to success, but the fact that I'm even able to pursue my dreams, I've already won. And that's really how you should feel about it. So that's really where the video's inspiration came from. I just wanted to feel like a champion. That's why I had like the champion 2-piece on, that I had designed by a designer friend of mine, Cherokee. And even that was very like overcoming adversity, because the 2-piece that I had on was actually one jacket. And I had a relative, and that relative and I got in a disagreement, and they proceeded to cut up my clothing that I had in my living room, because I sell clothes on my retail website, The Wild Cherry. So the things that I sell, they're in my living room on a rack. And, they started, cutting up my stuff. It was just this huge thing. And I had this jacket, and, this is a classic jacket. And I just took it to Cherokee, the designer. I'm like, can you make a 2-piece out of this? And something that was tragic turned out to be like iconic. So that's kind of just how you have to go about life. Like, how can I make this a positive? What can I do to salvage this? And that's really what Moon Shadows and that video is about.
Wow. And how did you choose the different locations throughout LA that you wanted to film through?
That is all to Adam, the videographer, local media. Check him out. His logo and his company are all on that video, as well as the credits in the drop down description box on YouTube. But he was able to choose the locations. He was so swift with it. I loved all of them. I kind of just let him know the vibe where I was going for, and that I wanted to be in downtown, and he did the rest. So working with him was amazing, because he really brought my vision to life. He was very patient with me, and we had a great time.
That's amazing. That's incredible. It sounds like the process for Moon Shadows and the video was flawless. You had the right team behind you, and the final product is incredible. So make sure y'all go ahead and check out that video.
Yes, check out Moon Shadows. It's the best. It's such a vibe. And one more thing about Moon Shadows, I always tell people that words are very powerful. That's why I don't let people hypothetically put me in anything stupid. They're like, imagine if I'm like, do not use me as an example for something stupid. But in that, I say stilettos with the denim and the vintage bustier. And one of the exes that I wrote that song about before I even released that song, but after the fact of writing it, when I seen them at Whole Foods, that is exactly what I had on. And I wrote that record way before I saw them. So I manifested that person seeing me in a higher light, and I had on that same exact outfit. So I'm like, that was like mind blowing when I put 2 and 2 together and realized that I had already foreseen what was going to happen before it did.
Wow. You are incredible.
for you,
You're
honestly.
welcome. Take us to Don't Wanna Wait. I know you dropped that in 2022. Yeah, what was the process of going through that single like?
Okay, so Don't Wanna Wait, honestly, well, I love all things 80s and synthwave. There's actually like bits and pieces of 80s inspo in Jazzmatikk that you'll hear when you hear the full project because I feel like that was my era. If I was supposed to be anywhere, I feel like it was supposed to be in the 80s. They were just on some other stuff that no one's even been able to replicate still to this day. I don't think they understand how like futuristic they were at that time with, their experimental creativity. But Don't Wanna Wait, I found that beat and I had just purchased some roller skates. I was just feeling the vibes. Like I just sat there and I was like under like neon blue lights and I just wrote the record. I actually wrote that in 2020 and it was archived. And then before I released it, I'm like, I love this record too much to not put it out. So I went back and I had, a colleague of mine, Bunny Daniels, go and lay some vocals on there and I just re-recorded the verses and put that out. But I was just feeling sensual and wanting to just express how I felt when I was, at the rolling rink and, had my bell bottoms on and my belly was popping. I'm like, I need to make a song for this. Like, I need to have my own theme song for what I'm doing. And that's where Don't Wanna Wait came from.
And it's definitely a dope theme song.
Oh, I
What would
still
you
haven't
say?
played rolling rink yet, but I will.
You said you haven't played it in a rolling rink yet?
No, not yet, but I need to hit up some rolling rink DJs and let them know they need to turn this on.
Oh, absolutely. Get your roll bounce on for sure.
Seriously, roller skating is awesome.
What would you say is a part of that song that really captures the entire essence of it?
Well, I think the hook, like I'm gonna give it to you, but I know it's gonna mess up. It's just like sometimes you are going with the vibe. I know we have these rules of 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, of like making someone wait, but there is like certain times in life where you're just like, you know what? This person's soul is connecting to mine. It's like I feel like I've known this person and it's beyond, just desires of the flesh. You want to make love with this person and it's not such a bad thing and you just want to do it and you're like, dang, it's kind of soon. I may have only known this person for 3 months, but sometimes that is enough. I mean, like, why play games? If someone's going to be a douche, they're going to be a douche. It doesn't really matter how long, you wait. I'm not saying for ladies to just go out there willy-nilly doing anything because that's not the case, but we all have exceptions, I've known women that were with their husband on the first date and they're married, because he just loved that woman and, respected her and valued it. So it was really about being in the moment, not overthinking and kind of just going with the flow.
Going with the flow. So important. Again,
I
especially
want
when it comes to
flow.
love. Yeah, you got to.
Having fun, be careful and safe out there. And for women that are watching, I would say also be mindful of letting someone know where you live so early on, because that's where you lay your head, where you're going to be all the time. So there's so many different things that, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But, when you do meet the right person, you feel safe, you check the boxes, you've asked the most high. Most high is like, do your thing, do your thing.
Absolutely. Like you said, safely, wisely, having fun. All right. So let's dive into the role that visuals play in your music. So what role does visuals play for you and your style? How does your style come into it? Because again, incredible style. I love the outfits that you choose for promoting your singles and throughout your music videos. So just walk us through that.
Thank you. I feel like I'm super visual. I have more fun with visuals than I almost do making the songs. Like as soon as I write book. I haven't finished the verses, but I know what I want the video to be. And I'm like, Cherokee, finish the song before you do that. I mean, like when I said some of the people that influenced me, like Rick James, Missy Elliott, Ludacris, these are all people that were very visual. Even Gwen Stefani, and that kind of always shaped me to really be excited about visuals and what that does for a song. So I'm super visual. Like I love the aesthetics. So I'm an independent artist. I am on my artist development company, Spin Spider, but I imagine how my visuals will be when I get to a certain plateau and budget is not a thing that I'm thinking about anymore. Oh my God. Like they're like, whoa, she's doing the most, because visuals are so fun. It's like, little mini movies. So visuals are definitely really important to me.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said that in many movies. I feel like you definitely take us on theatrical experiences with the things that you put out, and it's always a fun ride. So
Oh, thank you. Yes. This is the girl. Okay. Yes.
You're sweet. So tell us about the process of developing your team along this journey. Again, you started since your teens, and you've mentioned different people who have played a part in that. What has that process of developing a team been like?
It's been very organic for me, honestly. My tribe the creators just placed me at the right places at the right time. So I'm very grateful for that. I really just follow intuition. I'm very present. I don't drink, so I'm very like alert and able to just get the downloads at the moment. So sometimes, God will say, stop, walk to the left. I will do that. I don't overthink it. And right to the left will be the director that I need to meet. So I kind of just stay in tune, stay optimistic and stay present. And I've been really grateful and fortunate enough to meet everyone that is a part of my team and my tribe, from my producer, Scott Clowes. I was at the Silver Lake Flea selling skincare from my line Museum of Radiance. And that's how I met my producer. My social media strategist. I was a wingman on one of my friend's dates, and him and I were not romantic, but he ended up being my lead photographer, and we've had like a years long of friendship. So I was grateful for that. He's a great person, Mike. And I may have overshared there. Hopefully he doesn't get mad. And my skincare partner, brother Malik, which is the chemist for my skincare line, Gina Chichia, my partner for my retail website, The Wild Cherry. I met her while I was shopping at Buffalo Exchange, and she worked there. So everything's been very organic. So I haven't had to seek out anything. I would just put it into the universe that that's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. And it would just pop up on my path. So I kind of recommend that to everyone. Just continue along your journey. Know what it is you are, what you want, and who you want to manifest. And then from there, like it'll do its thing. You don't have to really send out like or make a Craigslist ad or anything. Like, believe it or not, organically things will just fall into place if you're clear.
Yeah, and not forcing it. And like we talked about before, having authentic intentions. So
yeah, for sure. Like everything's been pretty authentic and organic. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's amazing. So of course we have to talk about this debut of your album, Jazzmatikk, coming up.
Yes.
411. What can you tell us?
Oh my God. This is a really big milestone in my career, to have a full body of work. And especially so early on, a lot of people wait until they build a certain amount of following to do it. But I'm like, you know what? I've been in the field. I've just been developing other acts. So it's not like I haven't put in the hours, haven't put in the man labor. I'm like, I'm at this point in my life where a full body of work is going to kind of show where I am, what I feel, and also give just like a little taste of like the kaleidoscopic artist that I am. So Jazzmatikk is hip hop and jazz infused, but it's got like the 80s elements in there. It's got funk included in there, new jazz, vintage jazz. It's very nostalgic, but also progressive. So I think people are going to be very surprised with the different flows. I think each track on the project flows together seamlessly, but also has its own identity. So I'm very excited for people to hear this project. It's very expressive of who I am, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be great, and it's coming out December 2023. So look out for that. It's going to be the vibes. I'm really excited. And I just added another record to the lineup which I'm very excited about. That was produced by a good friend of mine, Joel, that is from the UK. He brought the vibes. He actually found me from Moonshadows. So as I was in production for my album, he just hit me up. He's like, hey, I came across your video. I've got some tracks. You can add them to your project. And they've been magic. So everything is organically coming together great. So it's going to be great.
Incredible. So you're still deciding on the total amount of songs that you want on it?
I am officially at 8. And then it's going to have a intro and an outro. So it'll be 10 tracks all together.
Ooh, we love a good intro outro situation.
Yeah, like good real instrumentation, live music. I'm like, I have to do an intro to kind of let people know what's going on and have fun with it. And then I am going to be also having like a performance where I showcase all of the records. I believe it's December 22nd for I Am Spotlight Radio. So I'll send that your way too. I love it. And yeah, it'll be great. I'm really excited about it. I think people are really going to love it and appreciate it for what it is. And, you know, even if they're not hip to it, as soon as it releases, I know the more that, you know, I build my catalog, they'll be able to come across it and love it no matter when they hear it.
What would you say was the most special part of developing your album?
Finishing it.
Yeah. Was that pushing through that perfectionist paralysis?
Getting it to the point where I'm like, I love every record. I love every record from top to bottom, especially knowing how I am, how critical I've been on myself. I really had to learn a lot about myself and kind of grow and change and adapt to, you know, working more rapidly, being more conscious of people's time and promotion. And, you know, originally the album was supposed to be released in August, but it is quite expensive to mix and master a full album, especially with the caliber of mastering artists that I work with. So I've had to really devote myself to doing all that it takes so that I'm able to garner, you know, the funds to do it, the funds to promote, the funds to have like, you know, sax solos and the session musicians and all that goes into it. So I think the biggest part for me is completing this full body of work and showing myself that I am going to give my all to every single piece of art that I do, not just the album in full, but each song. So yeah, bringing it to completion is going to be like a very big accomplishment for me.
A huge accomplishment indeed. We're excited to hear it and to stay connected and to continue to promote you and all of the good things that you have going on.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. What else can fans look forward to in the future from you?
Okay. 2024 is going to be crazy. Okay. I have a lot of heat that is in the chamber that I'm going to be releasing. So we're on Jazzmatikk this 2023, but come 2024, I have singles, mixtapes, a tour, but I am not going to give too much on that, but it's going to be crazy. So there's a lot that we're working on now so that just 2024, we're hitting the ground running. So follow me everywhere possible and stay connected because I am about to flood the gates. You know, I've been cultivating so many songs and I feel like 2024 is the time where I'm not going to overthink. And that actually was inspired by, believe it or not, what is it, NBA Youngboy. I don't really know his music, but he like popped up. And when I looked at his catalog, I was so blown away by how consistent that young man is with releasing without overthinking. Because, you know, you kind of come from a place where they tell you like, oh, you only should release this amount so people can take this and this and this. And I would space all my songs out. But then when I saw that he was releasing whatever he wanted to when he wanted to, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to just come from a whole different field and do whatever I want, release whenever I want. And that's what 2024 is going to be, like creative freedom times 1,000.
I love that. Creative freedom. You got to be free with it. You got to put out, again, like you said, organically in accordance to what you want to do. And again, it's your stuff. Like, forget the rules, right?
No, I love that. I'm put that on a shirt and we're going to split the profits. Forget the
rules.
That's a really good way to think about things and to live life, because we are in a place where they're trying to like warp your mind to be a certain way, think a certain way, do things a certain way. And, you know, especially in music, there are no more rules. You can do whatever you want to do. So that's definitely something that I plan on continuing to exercise, is freedom.
Absolutely, without a doubt. So go ahead and plug it like it's hot. Where can people find you and all of your music and all of your platforms?
Okay, so you can find everything that I have at www.CherokeeTheChief.com. It's very simple and easy to remember. On all streaming platforms under Cherokee the Chief, all caps, but even if you don't put all caps, I'm still going to pop up. So follow your girl there. And on YouTube, Instagram, I'm Cherokee the Chief, and pretty much anywhere you could possibly think of, Cherokee the Chief, except for my Twitter, it's The Chief. I was trying to switch it up, but still Cherokee the Chief, and I'm still gonna pop up. So yeah, that's where you can find me. Follow me on all socials, hit me up, let me know that you were able to see this amazing interview, and let's stay connected.
Absolutely. Y'all go ahead and connect with her. Thank you so much for taking time out to chop it up with us. And we look forward to all of the wonderful things that you have coming up.
Thank you so much, Angelique. And thank you, 24/7 Life Culture, for having me. I'm super grateful.
Pop a bottle, pick a condo, mama, we on. Baguettes on my fingers and my nose dipped in chrome. Ran into my ex and we're down up at the Grove, and I seen him acting like it was someone I ain't know. Yeah. Then I got a text and what it read was for sure. Lady coming out the woodworks when the team start to blow. Sleeping on the underdog, that's just how it goes. My Bulgarian riding shotgun and we slide slow.